Good day, everyone. Welcome to Rejuvenation Yoga. Today is day 24, and today we celebrate our intuition, our insight, our inspiration. So I thought we'd start our class today kneeling as though we're preparing for our reverent bowing. And yeah, just find a nice comfortable seated position where you're kneeling. If that doesn't feel comfortable right off the bat, remember our little trick where we make an imaginary chair. We use our intuition, and from the inside out, we're like, yeah, I got a chair here. So I'd love you to arrive in a seated position that's comfortable. It can be this one, it can be something else that works for you today. And as we start to talk about Ajna Chakra, arriving in a place where you let everything else go. Right now, I am on this journey with you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you find some insight, some introspection. And this journey is for all of us. It's for me, it's for you, and perhaps the people that are doing this around the world. So wherever you are, thank you so much. I'm going to introduce a crystal known as an Andara crystal. And this beautiful gem is from my dear friend on Kauai. These Andaras come from Santa Cruz. They are essentially, it's a fancy way of saying obsidian, and they come in a bunch of different colors. The cool thing about Andaras is that they are one big blob. They're not a crystalline form. So I like the idea that I could put this crystal up to my third eye and meditate for a little bit and just ask the crystal questions. So if you've never done anything like that before, that's okay. But this one is a really lovely crystal to hold. And again, if your crystal switch has been turned on, then I'm sure it's part of your intuition, your insight, your inspiration, your anything with the word in. So let's start our practice today in this awareness of the fact that we might be just slightly uncomfortable in this position. Myself being the example I will draw upon. So just notice what your posture is doing. If you're in a seated position, that's totally fine. I'd love for you to just pay attention to your spine. What's your spinal column doing? And more importantly, the Sushumna Nadi, that's this little tiny hair of light that connects from the top of your head down through your spinal column and out the root chakra, is so sensitive that it's actually a line of light that's connected to the sun and to the center of our planet, and it runs through all bodies. And because we have the potential to have this super awareness in our mind, we can just meditate or think about our Sushumna Nadi, our spinal column hair of light. And it could be like a fiber optic cable that's transmitting and receiving energy. And you're also being nourished continually from unseen forces. All right, so like any good intuition class, very little planning today. We just go right into the full expression of what the third eye would like to reveal for us. So we're gonna make our way down to the mat, slowly come off of your heels or your seat and extend the legs long. Maybe you leave the knees up and just give them a little rub. Maybe you tell yourself right at this moment, I am safe, I am free. No matter what's happening for you today, this is the best place you could be, just to allow for that deep healing that is so important every day. I love that little expression, lower yourself to the floor, that you can't feed the baby just one day a week. You have to feed the baby every day. Or the puppy, my puppy Finn, I forgot to introduce my assistants today. Here's Puppy Finn, and Puka Dog is just right out of the camera view because it's a little cooler over there, but she's still in the sunshine. So once you arrive on the floor, if you haven't already, just slowly come into your breath. See if you can visualize this line of light in your spine. And if not, that's okay too. It takes practice. For example, if you want to see the aura, you need to dull some of the cones in your eyes and you look with the rods, the aura rods. You like that? So the next time you're trying to look at somebody and look at their aura, see if you can get them to be against a surface that's pretty much not colored or textured. So a plain white or beige wall is most ideal. And what you would do is basically soften your focus so that you're looking beyond the person's face. You're looking all around them, and you allow the rods, the aura rods of your eyes to see some of that electromagnetic light photon energy around the body that basically our eyes aren't quite sensitive enough to see. But does that mean that the aura isn't there? Of course not. If you didn't have an aura, you'd be dead. You'd have to be literally an absolutely inert object, and your soul spirit would be nowhere near that physical body. So take a deep breath, and let's just use our intuition, our insight, our third eye, Ajna Chakra, associated with the colors indigo blue, and just this really beautiful kind of twilight color sky blue. It's not really purple, it's not really a true blue, it's indigo. And when we come into that insight, we just start to sense or feel our higher self, our true name, our Satnam. And when we do that, we get some inspiration as to what we're doing here. So if you haven't asked the question yet during this yoga series, who am I? That's a really good thing to pay attention to. So let's take a couple more breaths and just use your imagination to sense and feel that between the two glands that make up your pituitary and your pineal gland, that we have this library. It's actually called the Akashic Records, and it holds the information of your soul forever. It's not just this body, it's not just the next or the last one, and you might not believe in it. And there's a little cute joke about two people at a party, and one says, well, I don't believe in reincarnation. And the other says, well, that's what you said the last time. So that's not my joke, but I didn't believe in reincarnation until my best friend, who is a puppy dog, a 5-year-old dog, and my grandpa passed over the Rainbow Bridge at the same time. And I'm like, I better get a connection to spirit and soul here that helps me in life, not that makes me sad and makes me hardened. So let's just come back to our physical body, and I'd love for you to just suspend your ego or negative mind, and today to really enjoy any gifts and inspiration that you get, especially about who you really are, what you're really doing, and to remember to check in with the one main purpose that we're doing here. Love. Did you come for love? Did you come to love this planet? Did you come to love yourself? Did you come to love each other? All right, let's start to wiggle our fingers and toes, and we'll draw the knees up and into the chest. And one of my favorite things, just rocking side to side. And then we're going to pause and remember that motion where we just circle around with the knees and we get that nice massage around the base of the spine. Tighten up your powerhouse. Notice how all the chakras interrelate with each other. And in the body, we have 7 primary chakras, or energy centers, wheels of light, or basically places that, by the way, go around the other way with your knees. Places that we have these big nerve plexuses and we have subtle energy that comes off of them as well. Last 2 circles. Again, you're just massaging the base of your spine, you're softening your whole spinal column and even bathing the brain with that inspirational spinal fluid. All right, so craniosacral therapy is when we just address the different bones in the skull, in the spine, with such kindness and slow gentleness that you really allow for the body to do its own healing. So some of the craniosacral sessions I've been able to do with people has just been absolutely incredible. Because the body, the soul, it stores trauma, but our conscious mind lets it go, and then it might be stuck somewhere. All right, let's think about this next exercise. We're going to flush out some of the stuck trauma. We're going to ask where it was in the point of entry. If there's something we're holding on to and we'd like to let it go. All right, let's do this double-legged arm stretch. So hands by your ears, knees up. Big inhale breath, kick the arms and legs away. Exhale, come back. Big breath, open. Exhale to come back. Go with your breath. If it's too much, leave your head on the floor. And when you close your eyes for a couple of moments, visualize, know, sense, increase your awareness of your own third eye, which is known as the non-seeing, non-hearing eye. That's what our inner ear is for. This is also part of third chakra, is our inner voice. Last 2 breaths, chin is tucked. Your head might be on the floor. I chose for that version today. Good, and on your last one, if you can extend arms and legs, hover, shake, get that whole fire turned on in your belly. Oh, good, and then bring it back. Give yourself a hug. Knees can stay up. Knees can now float to the floor, arms out to the sides, and let's scoop up a big hug. I love me. Tell yourself a compliment. Big inhale, breath, open the arms. Exhale, other arm on top. Tell yourself a compliment now. Something you're good at. Don't focus on what you're not so good at. Focus on what you're good at. Compliment yourself. Big breath. Next time, arms open. Another one. Big hug. Other arm on top. Now compliment someone else. And here's a challenge. Compliment something you don't like. Does that make sense? Or maybe there's a person that you don't quite gel with sometimes, and I want you to compliment something they're good at. Then one more breath, big arms open. That one might take a bit of thought. They say we love ourselves and we love our worst enemy with the same energy. Give yourself a hug. So think about your favorite person, your favorite puppy, and then think about your least favorite person, and think about how angels could be visiting you in the form of troublemakers. Good. Release your arms. At the very least, you love yourself. Let's roll onto the side. It's my reminder, if somebody treats you like garbage, it's because their own energy field of how they treat themselves might not be totally dialed in. So let's arrive in a nice tall seated position. Bring your sitting bones behind you. You can take easy pose, Sukhasana. You might take bound angle. We have a few options. You might just cross your legs. We never sit with crossed legs. Why don't we try that? Find your seated pose today. I'm going to sit with the ankles crossed in front. That's my most comfortable position. And just noticing once I ground and root, I feel really good. All right, we're going to bring our hands up to our third eye, to our forehead. And we're going to imagine that we've got the biggest, most beautiful vegan, gluten-free sandwich ever, so that we protect literally every group of people. And what we're going to do is, this is a little exercise to open up your third eye and to open up your inner ear. So we're going to start alternating our arms back and forth on our forehead. And this is the visual. I want you to imagine that you've got like this tape of your life. In the good old days when we used to watch movies, they used to be on film. So it's like you're actually going through the film or the digital reel or whatever, and you can close your eyes and you're just going to alternate your hands back and forth. And the way that this was described to me, this exercise, is that it actually helps you release negative trauma or red flags that are in the future. So I don't know what that means exactly. Yes, I do. It basically means that you see and sense in your non-seeing and your non-hearing part of your brain, which is 99%, that everything's okay. You're just kind of fast forwarding and rewinding all at once. And you're saying, third eye, may you see clearly, may you hear clearly your true voice, your true essence. Okay, last 15 seconds. Don't worry about a thing. You don't have to do anything. Just continue the arm motion. Make sure your shoulders aren't scrunched right up into the ears. Good. And then we're going to release. Just pause for a moment. Imagine that this is a big screen, the frontal lobe of the brain. And if you think of dolphins, they use echolocation. So they're actually sending a sonic glyph through their third eye. That's actually a traveling sound wave. You can check out the word amplituhedron as to what happens to sacred geometry shapes that are created by these amazing creatures and how they vibrate through water. All right, let's hang out here for another couple moments. And then we're gonna do this one last thing to flick our back of our head. So we're gonna take the hands. I hope I demonstrate this okay. We're gonna take the hands and we're gonna cup our ears with the fingers pointing back, thumbs pointing down, and then take your middle fingers and cross your middle fingers where they touch at the back of your skull. Now what we're gonna do is flick. We're gonna flick from one middle finger to the other. You let the one that's underneath you flick this back part of your brain, this back part of your head. Cup your ears once you get the hang of it, and we're going to do about 25 little motions. And you flick, you flick. Good, last 5. Good, and release your arms down. Why in the world would we do that? So let's just sense and clear our own ears. We're just gonna kind of wash our own aura from the top down. Smooth yourself out. Breathe, have fun. We're going to just ask that any calcification, any fluoride that's stuck on the pineal gland, they use fluoride for cows to keep them docile. Guess what? It keeps us docile too. It calcifies on the pineal gland, and we forget. We forget that we have this Akashic record. We forget we have a soul. Good. Let's stop with all that and then just come back to a nice tall seated spine, and we'll just do a couple more motions today. And today is all about the meditation that we're going to do right at the end. So I love our spinal Sufi grinds. So hands on the knees, bring your chest to the left knee, inhale to the right, exhale around back, and go for it. Use your imagination to float into your third eye, and I want you to think about a few words that are really cool. The first word I want you to think about is telepathy, nonverbal communication. So that's cool. There's a guy who wrote a bunch of books about, how the dog knows when you're coming home. And also it's said that humans are the one group of beings that forgot our divine art of telepathy. Another word I want you to think about is clairvoyance, voyance, being able to see, the vision. So clairvoyance means that we're psychic and we get visions. Clairaudience is where we're psychic and we get hearing, or we hear, or we get a sense of a sound or some sort of frequency from the inside out. Let's come back to a tall spine after your next circle. Pause for a moment, keep the breath going, and let's go the other way. Inhale from the left knee to the right now and go around. Again, if you don't like this, go slower. Try to like it. Know that you're pumping blood up your spine, spinal fluid into your brain, and that you're giving yourself a good massage, and you're literally getting out of the the survival chakras at the base, and we're moving up into the sharing chakras that we share with space and time. So next word, clairsentience. Clairsentience is psychic ability where you just know. So you might have a bit of these abilities in different forums. I went to a beautiful spiritualist church, and the function of the particular day I'm going to talk about was called flower sentience. And there were people reading the energy of the person who had put the vase and bouquet of flowers together. And they read about 15 people from all the different bouquets of flowers that were there, including one single flower stem that was in a plastic person's water cup. Last two circles, come back to nice tall spine. Good, and then we pause. So this is a beautiful time to let you guys all know that I am a registered hypnotherapist, and that one of the techniques I learned during my hypnotherapy training was that noise is no barrier to meditation. So this is where we would make a comment like, if you hear the children screaming, if you hear the tree being cut down with the chainsaw, you take a nice deep breath and you say, I'm so grateful for my ears. I'm so grateful I can hear. And you also say something like, the more I hear, the deeper I go. So give yourself a little bit of playtime with the subconscious mind. The one book I wanted to draw upon today was The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Good, so let's make our way down to the mat. Really short, beautiful practice today. The main essence today is to really get into our third eye, into our imagination. So if you hear, the leaf blower or your kids yelling or something, first thing you say is, I'm so grateful for my ears. And then we're going to make our way down to the mat. And let's finish our class, our physical class, just doing the bug on its back. So this is the one where we bring the knees up and we're just going to shake. So open up the limbs and open up your hands and feet and just shake like a bug. And this feels really cool to get into your ankles and wrists, into your elbows and knees, and into your shoulders and your hips. And have fun. Wiggle around. Be a bug. The leaf is blowing all around you. Woo! Our gardeners are here today. One more breath. Cutting down an old dead tree that this lady wanted to keep forever and ever because the birds like it. But you know what? Our yard has about 50 trees, so one more breath. It's good to let things go. It's good to let thoughts go. It's good to let trauma go. And if somebody really bothered you, you can just say, maybe they're an angel in the form of a troublemaker in my life, helping remind me that love is the only solution. Come down. We came here with duality, good and bad, night and day, you and me, as though there's some kind of separateness. And my intention and world is here to just say, whatever you're doing, you're greatly loved. There's a part of you that knows and remembers all of it. And maybe if the ego and all of our five senses shut down just a little bit, we can go inwards. We can go into this incredible place that is our internal world, where we're looking forward to meditating. We're looking forward to just being able to close our eyes and peace out for a few minutes. I love the reminder. Let's do that breath. Inhale, peace. Exhale, peace. Peace in. Peace out. Ever wonder where peace out came from? Could it be that, the exhale breath? Pretty sure it is. So find your most comfortable meditation position. Today my knees are still up and I just guided them towards each other. It's very supportive on the spine. If you want to put on a blanket, if you want to put a pillow under your head, if you want to put, this is very powerful, something over your eyes. The possibility to pay attention to what's going on internally is much greater when our eyes are closed, and also the extra stimulus is reduced. So if there's nothing close by, you might just take a sleeve of your sweater or something and cover your eyes. You might have a glorious bag, that little eye cover bag. Maybe it's scented with lavender, and you can just come into this space of introspection. So let's spend a few minutes in meditation. We're going to deepen our breath, and we're going to set our intention to create a beautiful awareness of our sixth sense. So it's no accident that the Ajna Chakra is known as the sixth chakra. Sixth to me meaning sixth sense. So that's when all of the other senses are dormant or idle and we see what's happening. So take a deep breath and follow the sound of my voice. And for now, the deeper you breathe, the more in tune you will get with your intuition. All of the chakras are being healed through this day, through this class, through this series. And we're going to settle our awareness on the third eye. Starting to imagine that there's nothing else in the brain or the head. It's basically the most beautiful twilight, indigo blue sky. And you start to focus on one star, or one planet, or one glowing essence. It might be a pearl. It might be a marble. But see if we can use our sense of letting go and just feel in the mind's eye that there's nothing there, just a beautiful blue sky, and we're focusing on one object or item, the pearl, the marble, the gem. And see if we can ask that as we meditate on this pearl, that we become aware of the oyster, for example, and how this oyster has this beautiful inside, but it actually takes irritation and it takes this sort of pressure for slowly but surely this pearl to form. And from one of my favorite books from all lifetimes, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers by Annie Kagan. It's the most beautiful description given of your mind being the oyster and your mind being the pearl. So not only do you have the irritation and the shell, but you also have the marble or the gem that results. So let's just sense or feel this calmness, this healing, this soothing that just being aware of your third eye gives you. Ask if there are any messages for you to receive today. And if you do have any sense of negativity, if we could just ask that any doubt or ego sits to the side for this couple of more minutes. The little expression I learned in yoga, when you have doubt, you can doubt doubt. So be in there. Your first impression of the moment before you're going to die in this body, and see if we can create a sense of peacefulness and joy. Ram Dass says we're all walking each other home. And remember, as though home is the much more real part of who we really are. So yes, you're real, but the bigger you is sometimes unknown. So using this time, a couple more breaths. Use your imagination that all your chakras will heal, particularly as you sleep tonight. And the third eye will offer you some intuition, some insight as you dream, as you astral travel, which we all do when we're dreaming. Give you memories, or if you'd like, you say this before you go to bed. I'd like to remember my dreams. I want to remember my dreams. And have a dream journal right beside your bed, even if you just get a moment in the morning where you can write them down. And remember, you might dream about the most beautiful crystal beach or something, and it means something to you. It might not mean the same to somebody else. So use your own guidance from within to interpret if a dog is something good for you or it means something else, as an example. Couple more moments, noticing that all of your chakras are spinning and vibrating for the perfect energy for you right now, and particularly with your sleep that's coming tonight, all of your energy centers will balance out. Each energy center carrying with it a different emotion, positive and negative. In the third eye, when we're blocked, we have confusion, we have extreme sensitivity to any of the five senses. So in the vision, we can get too sensitive. In our hearing, sensitivity to electromagnetic frequency, which we can't see. So just tune in, make sure your Wi-Fi is all turned off at night, try to not have anything electric in your bedroom. And remember, anything electric, it damages our electromagnetic field, our aura, or it can cause a lot of profound effects. So we want to clear and sense our humanness as much as possible without the phones, without the distractions. Take yourself back. Go to that place in your life where there were no cell phones yet. Easy for my generation, not so hard for the younger ones. And just be in a place where you're feeling how nice it is to just walk through the country on a beautiful country lane. There's no phones, there's no electricity. Perhaps you pass a lake, perhaps you pass a farm, you pass friends, perhaps you stop and have a swim by the river, perhaps you stop and have a picnic with your friend or your spouse or your family. And on this beautiful, idyllic road that really isn't a road and it doesn't have cars on it, there's nothing electrical. Just you, your electromagnetic glowing light. And if you do have usage of a lot of devices in your life, we all do more and more, make sure you take some time from that. We need to literally have a bath and get rid of all of that frequency. There was somebody that did a study recently showing all of the electromagnetic fields around a person's body by just using their cell phone. And it's a big cloud of pollution, right? So clear your field. Clear your field. Even if you're watching this on a device, there might be a crystal in between you and the device. It might be far away. Or at the very best possibility, I've inspired you to do some little bit of yoga every day, no matter where you are, who you are. And you won't need a video for much longer. But it is my special honor to be here with you today on this sacred day, 24 on our 30-day Rejuvenation Yoga adventure. Let's take a deep breath, rub your eyes, create a bit of warmth and friction and energy. Keep your eyes closed and then gently just cup your eyes with your hands. If you have a little pillow or something covering your eyes, just let your hands cup on top of that. If not, your hands just gently cupping over your own face. Please enjoy, send soothing, healing energy to your third eye. Remind your third eye you're here to experience joy. Your birthright is happiness, and that we're all born with love and healing. And if you look around and you say, there's so much suffering in the world, it's true, there is. But we're all at different places where we serve as volunteers to help end the collective suffering. Let me tell you about the time I was so upset about the dolphins, and I was reminded by a glorious spiritual midwife, a lovely healer, Faith. Thank you for helping me heal my trauma around dolphins and everything else. But I was like, how can they suffer? I can't understand. And in a beautiful healing on Kauai, I was reminded that we're all where we're meant to be at the exact time. So please give yourself that gift, even if you're in a very difficult space in your life right now, that you can't be in the wrong space. You can change. Everything constantly changes. And you can also flow with your own energy. But know that at the base of all of it is your birthright being joy. And your third eye is here to remove confusion and to remove any extra stimulation. And spend a few days away from the media, spend a few days away from your phone. As Michael Beckwith suggests, take a newspaper, fold it up, put it away for 6 months. Don't look at a newspaper again. Don't watch the news. And then go pick up that newspaper and see 6 months from now how we feel about it. Isn't that wise? I offer media cleanses to myself every day, even social media. It's all good, and there's also a lot of not good, and it's okay. We're here healing. We're here planting world seeds so that we can breathe with joy and love and happiness together. So ever so gently take your hands off of your face. We're going to come back into our body and mind as though we're renewed and rejuvenated more so than we've been perhaps in this whole series. We can imagine growing younger every day, yet wiser still. Know that your soul has no age. And in fact, your spirit really enjoys being every age. Young, a baby, an infant, a toddler, a young person, a teenager, young 20s, 30s, all of it to the 50s, 70s, 80s. If you're lucky enough and have gratitude enough to live to 100, may you be in joy that you've reached that glorious space. Let's take a deep breath and notice that whatever age we're at, we must breathe. Ask for a gift from your third eye today. Ask for a burst of inspiration. Ask to release any negative block or hardened thought or stone that no longer serves you. Know that the earth is the master recycler. And just sense and feel your face, even though your eyes are now not being covered by your hands. And sense that warmth and healing that you were able to give yourself. I love you so dearly. and I might not even consciously know you. But my third eye knows you and thanks you for being here. I love myself more than I could ever describe, but sometimes I don't feel it, and that's okay too. I'm here with you to help us connect that. I promise I won't cry at the end of every class for this last week. Let's bend the knees, take a deep breath, laugh and giggle, see how you're feeling, and push the ground away. Bye-bye ground. So when you arrive in a tall seated position, see if we can come back to the here and now. Perhaps we're a little bit more inspired and curious, and perhaps we've been able to let something go. See if you notice the word Akashic records or Akash. See if you can think about the third eye and in the pineal gland, the remembrance that we're going through, the storage in your soul of everything that's ever been, already. And it's not even a physical vibration. By that I mean there's no hard little thing you can take out and look at and say, that's my third eye. It's a vibration, but it's non-physical. Remember, you're half physical, you're half non-physical. And that's the work of Lee Carroll through Cryon, reminding us of what we really are. Doesn't matter who you follow, Abraham, Esther Hicks, any guru, follow all of them, follow none of them. The most important one is you. I'm just your guide. I'm here to hold the space. And I love holding this space. So one more full breath. Be nothing, do nothing, just be a ball. Let's bring the hands together and see what reformulates as the day goes on. Hands at the heart, we'll bow the head just a little bit. We dedicate the merits of our practice to all sentient beings. May all beings be relieved of their suffering, and may we dwell together with great fruitfulness and harmony. Let's bring the hands up to the third eye. May we all achieve the enlightenment that we're wishing to achieve. May we all know that we are at the exact perfect place that we're meant to be right now. And may we know that we are more divine and more loved and more honored than our imagination could ever possibly even take on. So go further, go a little past it, and know, deeply know that even the most difficult challenge in your life right now is the best thing that's happening for your awakening, for your enlightenment, for your Buddha nature. Bring the elbows together, a little bow of the head. The light in me greatly honors and sees the divine in you. Namaste. Good. Soften your arms, soften your face. Everything is great. We'll see you tomorrow for day 25. Thank you so much. You're a true gift. And you are and will be successful in life. Peace, be still.